unique to be sitting here with Jake Paul after, what was it, 3 years ago that I promoted your...
2 years.
2 years ago, sorry about that. It feels like a long time. Promoting your professional debut. Some hold me responsible for that, but you've come a long way since. And now with your promoter's hat on, just a really great time for Most Valuable Promotions. I'm sure you're very proud of the work you and Nikisa have done. I'll come to Nikisa shortly, and obviously proud of Amanda as well, as we sit ahead of this historic event on April 30th.
Yeah, 100%. What an honor to be here at the historic Madison Square Garden. I want to give a big thanks to Jim Dolan and the entire MSG team for making history with us. For real, this is awesome. And women have been boxing since the early 1900s, but it wasn't until 1999 that they were able to compete professionally. So 23 years later, here we are with one of the biggest fights ever, headlined by 2 women at Madison Square Garden. Today is about Amanda and Katie, the 2 best female boxers in the world right now. They deserve this stage, they deserve this historic payday, and they deserve to settle who is the pound for pound best, which is why I'm excited to see this fight, for real. But it's also about Ann Wolfe, Christy Martin, Layla Ali, Mia St. John, and many other legendary boxers who helped lay the foundation for the ladies to be sitting here today. It's about Clarissa Shields, Michaela Meyer, Alicia Baumgartner, and other amazing professionals currently in the sport. And most of all, it's about the future young women and girls all over the world who will see April 30th as a moment that made the impossible possible, equality as it's meant to be. So it's an honor to be here with Eddie Hearn, Matchroom DAZN, Madison Square Garden. We're grateful for Katie Taylor and her team to commit to taking this fight. And of course, most of all, we're proud to stand with Amanda Serrano, the superstar, a woman who has dedicated her whole life to boxing, doesn't have a phone. Meanwhile, I'm posting TikToks all the time. And now it's time to start showing, the commitment she has made and showing the world how important women's boxing is to people like Bob Arum, who misspoke, when he made his comments earlier this week. And he's gonna eat his words April 30th, and he's gonna see how impactful this fight is. So I'm excited to be here, and let's make history.
Jake, for you, one question. I know it's very much about these 2 fighters today, but you clearly have fallen in love with the sport of boxing. Is this important for you to give something back as well, to be part of creating history here on April 30th?
100%. I'm a fight fan. I fell in love with boxing. I'm passionate about boxing all the way around. And for me, when I met Amanda Serrano and I heard her stories about how hard she's worked, I see how hard she's training, and she's getting paid, pennies on the dollar, being taken advantage of by people in her career. She needed help, she needed guidance, and she needed to be put on a pedestal. And she's a superstar, and she put the work in the gym. And to me, I'm excited to be promoter Paul, and we might be sitting next to each other, a few more times in the future. So I'll always be involved in this sport and always be pushing to make boxing a better place.
Well, thank you for your support. We'll start with what doesn't feel right, calling you the challenger for this fight, Amanda, because of everything you've achieved. But this fight really has been bubbling for 2-3 years now. Now it's finally here, and I think one of the greatest achievements is we made it at the right time. Maybe then it was too early. We wouldn't have been main event, Madison Square Garden, main arena. The money that's available for both fighters. This is it. This is the moment in time where the world will stop to watch 2 great female fighters fight for the undisputed championship.
You're definitely right, and I have to thank my coach, Jordan Maldonado, for not accepting the first couple of fights and keep going back and forth. And he knows what I was worth, and and now we're working with MVP, and they know exactly what we work as well. And timing couldn't be better than right now. Happy National Girl and Women in Sports Day, which is today. Couldn't be a better day than to do all this press. And yeah, women, we're changing the sport, and I'm super happy, I'm super glad, and honored to share the ring with Katie Taylor. She's a great champion, and we're gonna prove who's the pound for pound best, because everyone's been asking for it.
I know there's a lot of respect between you two, sometimes a few back and forths over the years as well, but make no mistake, you're coming here with bad intentions and looking to end this fight inside the distance. That's what you do. You have heavy hands, you're very exciting, as is Katie. We can only expect a tremendous fight on April 30th.
Yeah, nothing changed. I'm still Amanda, the real deal Serrano. And, I don't need to talk bad about any of my opponents. I do all my talking inside the ring. I respect Katie Taylor, what she's done. She's opened, between you and her, you guys opened the doors for women's boxing. And now look, we're headlining MSG. So there's going to be no bad words between us, but in the ring, it's something different.
And finally, if someone would have said to you a few years ago that you'd be headlining this arena, main arena, Madison Square Garden, for this type of money and this kind of attention, this kind of legacy, it seems like this was a million miles away. I mean, Katie you were doing it before, Katie, in the pro game. I'm sure the struggle was incredible back then, but this is really just the moment where all your hard work, and not just yours, but all female fighters that Jake talks about as well, it all comes together to show them that the world will change on this night.
No, 13 years I've been a professional. Every other day I wanted to quit. The struggle was real. I never had an easy way out of it in the game. And never did I imagine making the money I'm making today and headlining Madison Square Garden. Like, are you serious? It wasn't not even a thought. And look, we're changing the game. Like, now younger girls in the sport can be like, I want to be just like those girls. I want to headline the Garden. Now there's hope for them. We never had that hope, and I'm excited to open those doors.
Thank you, Amanda. We go over to the champion, the undisputed world champion, Katie. I think it was like 7 years ago you were in my office with Brian trying to tell me that we could do something in women's boxing. I didn't believe you at the time, but your passion, your love, your drive made me come along for the ride, and what a ride it's been. If we would have sat there at that moment and said one day you'd be headlining, you might have believed it, but I wouldn't have, and many didn't. And this is the moments that you live for.
Yeah, exactly. I think ever since I turned pro, I've had my eyes fixed on two fights. One was Brazil and the other one was Serrano. And so this is a fight I've been looking forward to for quite some time now. I feel like since the fight has been announced a couple of weeks ago, I've nearly sitting back just reflecting on these last few years, and it's incredible how far the sport has actually gone in 5 short years, where we're actually headlining the Mecca boxing Madison Square Garden. It's been called the biggest fight in female boxing history. This is such a privilege to be part of such an historic moment. This is history right here, and all of our hard work has been all paid off on this night. This is going to be a career defining night.
I remember going back to when you debuted at Wembley. People they weren't sure, were they? Like, for years we've been banging the drum. I just said, just watch Katie Taylor, watch these elite females. It's not about female boxing, it's not about men's boxing, it's just about boxing. And this event already in these last few days feels like people talking about this fight as a major fight, not female fight. I remember we joke about my idea where I came to you a few years ago and said, I'm going to headline you on an all-female card. And that wasn't really your vision, was it? It was just about the perception of equality for great fights.
Yeah, that's it. I think this fight genuinely is the most exciting fight in the sport, not just in female boxing, but in boxing as a whole. And not just because of our records, but I believe that our styles will gel well together. It's going to be produced a fantastic fight for the fans. This really is the best fight of boxing right now. And it's not about female boxing or male boxing. This is just boxing. This is top class boxing. And so this is exactly why we're here.
And we also know you two are fierce competitors. There's a lot of respect. We're all here celebrating the fact that this is even happening, but we know when you go back to the gym, still quite a long way to go, but you and her, Amanda, will be desperate for victory on April 30th. I know what a winner you are, what a competitor you are. You have to retain those belts here.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we're both great champions, and she has a great record. There's no doubt about it. She's a great fighter. We're going to be both stepping into the ring finally, believing that we're both going to come out victorious. But I do believe that when you look down the list of our opponents, you'll see recognisable names on my resume. You'll see the likes of McCaskill, the likes of Pursuan, the likes of Jonas, among others. And you'll also see top class amateur boxers as an amateur as well. So I have been tested, I have been refined with the fire. I believe that we'll stand to win in a fight this competitive. So we're both going to go in the best shape possible and make the best fighter win.
Well, thank you, Katie. Thank you, Amanda. Tickets will go on sale this week. We expect to fill up the Garden completely. As I said to Joe, earlier, an unbelievable undercard being planned for April 30th already. Jesse Vargas, 2-division world champion, will take on Liam Smith from Liverpool. The undisputed super middleweight world championship between Cruz Dezern and Sedarus also on the card, as well as many, many more. And from our side, from Matchroom, from all of our team, we want to thank everybody for their support. This feels like a really iconic moment for the world of boxing, a moment that a lot of us have worked very hard towards. Thank you, Jake, as well, for all your hard work to get this over the line. The Kisa Most Valuable Promotions, but most of all, as Jake said, to those great fighters that have come before them. But for now, we celebrate Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, who will make history here at Madison Square Garden, April 30th, live on DAZN. Do not miss it. We will have a head-to-head here and everyone available for the media. Thank you so much for coming today. Thank you. I just want to make sure that.
Everybody look right here at me.
Okay, and we're face to face, please.
Go!
Thank you very much. Just one with the belts, guys, please. She knows exactly. Jake?
Everybody take a step forward. A little bit more, we'll get the name centered. Perfect.
Guys, one more with the belts with them from Amanda.
We'll not do that. Give away. Who said belts don't matter, right?
Amanda, shift down just a hair. There you go. Nice pictures. All right, everybody.
Well done, thank you.
You
You've got some of the jerseys,
belts,
yeah?
they'll take them back, and then we can do with the,
Excuse me.
Joe, what's the one stand for?
Number one, baby.
Number one.
First fight, first fight.
All right, everybody.
It's a long way since Jackie Panawanda did kickboxing.
All eyes here, all eyes here.
Love it. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much.
Guys, one more picture.